Hello and welcome to Rev Sports Day 4 of India versus South Africa second test match. South Africa lead by a whopping 314 runs. They are still out there batting. No wickets lost. Ryan Rickelton and Temba Bavuma are still out there. They will be the overnight batters. India, on the other hand, were asked to bowl. They did not. South Africa did not enforce the follow on. But Devashish, the question that we're asking today is India staring at another possible home whitewash?
Might be, and the chances are huge. I would say the chances are huge because if South Africa there's goes without saying that they will come slam, or because they will need the time to get those remaining 10 wickets, the 10 wickets to win the test, and that will be incredible. Coming to India and winning a test series, whitewash, I think, I mean, who would have put their money for Kemba Bavuma in this team before the start of the series? So I think Ryan Rickelton, Aiden Markram, or for that matter anyone, all they would need is another. I would say they would at least need 150 to 200 runs. Having given that they are already leading by 314 runs, they would need at least 500 runs to ensure that India doesn't even realistically doesn't even think about chasing this target. They want to bat India out, and that is what I think is most likely be. But yes, it has been shambolic. India, I won't say India did not have chance in this match. They did have chance in Eden Gardens. They messed it around. They did have chance in this test match also. But given that our great batters, temperament wise, patience wise, they are incredible to see the some of the shots. Means only Gautam Gambhir and Shitangshu Kotak can answer. Means what sort of approach was that? Means 122 for four, and your captain just he just all the eight balls there was something or other. Means a turn down DRS, a first ball six, and then that the ball with which he got out. Means inexplicable, I would say, and something means and the problem with the Indian Test side, Gargi, I think accountability. I think these players know they take it as granted. Means I was going through yesterday. Several people, senior people, were saying that gone were those days when people used to actually test cap are earned. It has to be earned, and these days the players they get into the test side quite easily. So, and that is what means obviously the temperament, the skill set, so that is what it is, and losing two series in whitewash in a span of a few months means that says the sorry state of affairs as far as Test cricket is concerned.
Bharat, are you thinking on the same lines as well? We haven't had a chance to talk to you recently. I think, at least I didn't speak to you yesterday or did not have a discussion with you. But how are you looking at everything that happened in the last 3 days? India failing to show any sort of temperament or permanence on the crease. What are your thoughts?
See, there's a lot to say. I don't think I can say it in just 3 4 minutes. Starting with Indian spinners to Indian batters. See, starting with Indian spinners itself, I thought that even a couple of days ago, I told it to Rohit Juglan in one of the shows that they bowled too quickly through the air. That is well before Simon Harmer went and extracted 4.1 degrees of average turn. They bowled too quickly through the air, too quick, 92 kilometers per hour, 90 to 95 kilometers per hour. In those conditions in Guwahati, when the pitch is slow, you can't expect turn at pace, that is side spin. So you have to beat the batsman in the air, you have to impart more revs on the ball, which they couldn't. Neither Washington Sundar nor Ravindra Jadeja could. And then Simon Harmer put on a master class for those two as to how to get wickets in those conditions. He didn't just extract more turn. He also, what can we say, brought those subtleties into play. Some deliveries used to turn a little more, some deliveries used to turn a little less. He was getting more overspin. So, and even Keshav Maharaj outbowled the Indian spinners. And then the Indian batting lineup, I guess it also goes down to the mindset of the current Indian batters. It's not just related to, I think, at the top level. You see, a lot of them play a lot more shots now in domestic cricket as well. So it's not very easy for them to just apply themselves and play for long periods of time. And if you look at that slow pitch in Guwahati, it's the kind of strange track where you may not be able to score runs quickly, but if you just play patiently, then you can play for very long. That is what Kuldeep Yadav and Washington Sundar showed. So India could have got 350 runs in those conditions if they had played well, at least 350 runs. Yeah, they might have not won the test even then, but at least they could have drawn the test. But now it looks like a 2-0 series defeat is on the cards. At least in my lifetime, I've not seen India losing two test series at home over 12 months. Yes, it happened in 1983-84 when West Indies thrashed India, and then England beat India in 84-85. Or 12 months, India lost two series at home. That's not happened in my lifetime. I think it will happen in 2025. And looking at how India are playing, I think we are in for some more tough times when it comes to playing Test cricket at home.
Absolutely. Devashish, a question here. Monder is asking, is there any possibility that India can win from the situation?
I think Shubham is a very
Narrated as
diehard fan of the
Bharat.
Indian team. I think Shubham is the biggest diehard fan of Indian team. Uh, but see, cricket is a funny game. But Shubham, I would say draw is a distant possibility. Second option will be South Africa winning. India winning at this stage it is difficult, but you cannot you don't know. You don't know. Strange things have happened in this sport. So, but uh, I won't give chance of India winning this test match. Means after the symbolic performance in the first inning.
Yep, absolutely. And Ashni is saying, Rev Sports stopped going gaga about Gill in England against third grade bowlers. Gill would have struggled against South Africa. Look at his paltry average. He did not even bat in the series. Like I would have taken the criticism if Shubman Gill came out and failed, but we haven't seen him against South Africa. Also, there were some really tough pressure situations back in England. It wasn't all rosy, and it wasn't the easiest of conditions in England as well. There was a lot of pressure there. And if I were to recall one session, or rather one innings that made a huge difference, it was the one in Manchester where he built a partnership with KL Rahul, and they went one session without a wicket. I think that was a good one to watch. But Bharat, your thoughts about this?
See, I'm not very sure to call England's bowlers as third grade bowlers. First of all, they just bowled out Australia in an innings for 132. So, if they were third-grade bowlers, they wouldn't have cleaned up Australia in one innings for 132 runs. So, Jofra Archer, Bryden Cars, Joe Stung takes 5 wickets per every test in 6 tests. He has 31 wickets. So that's a pretty decent pace attack, I would say. Yes, the conditions were quite flat, but still, Shubman Gill were needed in that Old Trafford test. India were 1 for 2, and Jofra Archer definitely bowled a very good spell up front. I thought he was moving the ball a lot, and this in those conditions, he still scored 100. So I don't think he played third grade bowling, or I don't think it was all easy runs. I think his technique was pretty decent compared to what it was in the past, because he definitely worked on his front foot defense. Yes, Shubman Gill always will have a problem or two against a nip packer, but still his front foot defense was much better in England, and that is why I think he scored all those runs.
Absolutely. Suamundal once more. Sorry, let's take this one. Musical being. Who are the off spinners in the domestic circuit who could be tried at the international level? I think Bharat might be the best person to ask this question to. Bharat, any off spinners that you currently have a spotlight on?
Oh, there's no Ashwin type spinner. Let me tell that clearly. There's no Ashwin type spinner. The one they're thinking of is Tanush Kotian, but again, it's very similar to the kind of left arm spinners that you're seeing at present, or even Washington Sundar, because he looks at pace. He doesn't really look at trying to beat the batsman in the air. There's one more off spinner from Vidarbha again, but there's no one who looks like anywhere near Ashwin's class. I think India have a problem or two when it comes to finding off spinners.
Okay. So Mondal is saying, I think we are really missing Gill and Iyer service in the batting department. When will they fit? We will be. When will they be fit? We will be a very good side. Right now, we are having a very hard time. Shreyas Iyer in Test cricket. Don't think Shreyas Iyer is being considered in test scheme of things. Gill, of course, he got injured and couldn't make it back in time. He is targeting the T20I series, so you might as well see him there. But let's take some more questions here. Shin Lena, I don't know what that means, but why is India going only with three specialist batters when NKR and Washington uh, only bowling a few overs? They could have played another batter instead of NKR. Devashish?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that is what baffles every one of us. Means the test match is all about playing specialist. You could have easily played a batsman in Devdutt Padikkal, who is part of that 50 of this 15 members test squad, or you rather go for a genuine quick bowler in Akashdeep. None has been done, so, and they instead preferred to go in with a Nitish Kumar Reddy, who I think. Let's be honest as well. Means someone like a Nitish Kumar Reddy, these are not the ideal conditions for Nitish Kumar Reddy's pace. Means clearly, you have tried him in England, in Australia. He has done reasonably well. So clearly, the subcontinent pitches, you would hardly the opponent batters will hardly get trouble. So that is what I think that I that is what is getting a big concern is Gautam Gambhir's approach in Test format. He is trying to implicate that of the template in one day cricket where he gets in more all rounders into the test match. Test cricket is all about playing specialist players, and your top five should always be the specialist players. And whoever gets picked means eh, that is one major concern. And we saw what during the era of Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri, their template was always to play five genuine bowlers. Means you have to win a test match by picking 20 wickets, and in and by and you got to play your five genuine specialist bowlers. That has not been case with Gautam Gambhir. Means I think somewhere or other he needs to retrospect as to where he is going wrong.
There is a question here. There is not a question, it's a comment. Ojasvi Thapa is saying Gigi will play nationalist card, scold a few journalists, speak arrogantly, and press conference is over. uh, Before I ask Devashish if that's been the case, but I will tell you that he's not always, smiley. We know that Gautam Gambhir is a very serious person, very stern. And in the West Indies tour that happened, the final match happened in Delhi, and I was a part of that press conference after the series ended. For the first time, he entered smiling, like full beaming smile. And I was like, what is going on? What is going on today? And it was his birthday as well. So as soon as he came in, everyone wished him happy birthday. And then I think that was one of the most, not profound, but it was one of the most honest press conferences that he did, because he spoke about something that he's never before, and he said that, I'm a very emotional coach. So when I am selecting the playing 11, or when I am selecting a team, I get very emotional about the fact that I do actually have to drop someone and get someone else in the team, and I feel very, very sad when I do that, which is why I make it a point to talk to all my players that this is the reason why you're not in the team, or this is the reason why you're not in the playing 11. And I think that is important. Even in Asia Cup as well in Dubai, Bharat was there. We saw that when Kuldeep Yadav was asked about his experience in England not being selected for those 5 matches, Kuldeep Yadav also said that the team had very clearly communicated everything to him, which is why he did not take it personally, or rather did not let it get him down. But Devashish, are is this the pattern of Gautam Gambhir's press conferences? I don't think so.
No, no, I see. Gautam Gambhir is a very honest character. And he always is passionate about. He has always been passionate when he during his playing days. Uh, but somehow or other, means when it comes to his as a coach in the test format, I think he is missing a trick or two. Means clearly, one day cricket he has done tremendously well, winning the Champions Trophy, the Asia Cup, the white ball series against Australia. But I think he needs to realize that you cannot have that set template for Test match as well. Means I think nothing with Gautam Gambhir. He is a very honest person. He wears the heart. I think, and he always been patriotic. I would say. So I think these losses could perhaps hurt Gautam Gambhir the most rather than the players who are playing. I think, and that is where that honest submission after that loss in Eden Gardens, where he said, I mean, he's a very outspoken guy, an honest guy, where he says that it was his call to have such a kind of wicket being prepared. Not no one, no other coaches will come forward and give an honest submission. Yes, Sitangsha Kotang might differ, but clearly, I think. See, when a team wins, now everything looks good, Gargi. And you were mentioning about the Delhi Test match. First and foremost, it was his birthday. So I think it was a perfect occasion, and also India was doing well during that series. So clearly, when things are not going right, you will see tensions growing, dressing room rift, and so, and you will see more stories coming out after the series loss against South Africa.
Bharat, Sambit Das is asking, at white ball coaching, Gautam Gambhir is the best, but in red ball, he's not good. Why is Iswaran not playing instead of Sai? What will he have to do to get a chance? His record is far better than Sai in Ranji.
I don't know whether I want to become a villain here by saying what I want to say. See, Abhimanyu Iswaran has struggled while playing for India A. I think that is the main reason the selectors are not looking at him, rightly or wrongly. In the last game that he played against South Africa A, again failed, scored 0-0. When India A went to Australia to play against Australia A, he struggled. Rutraj Gaikwad also struggled. It so happened Sai Sudarshan scored 100 there, and Devdutt Padikkal also scored runs. So these two guys scored runs, and then recently Dhruv Jurel scored runs against South Africa A in some tricky conditions in the first innings. So I think this is the main reason why Abhimanyu Iswaran is struggling to get in, because not every time he has had some decent scores for India A, 50s and 40s, but he has mostly struggled while playing for India A. I think they're seeing better quality of bowling when they play for India A against Australia A or South Africa A. Will still get Fergus O'Neill, Michael Neser bowled against India A, Scott Boland bowled against India A. Then for South Africa A, Seeley bowled against them. So these are all decent seamers, and if you struggle against them, then the selectors will find it hard to pick that player. So the selectors are definitely looking at India A performance as a higher ceiling than performances in Ranji Trophy. Yeah, you might question against me, but that is how it is currently, and that
No,
is why it's
I,
important place.
I totally go with you, Bharat. But in this case, you should rather try someone who has played 100 first-class matches. I'm not defending Abhimanyu Ishwan. I'm not a backer of Abhimanyu Ishwan. Let me be very honest. Means I'm just trying. When you have tried so many players, even a player who has played 15, 20 first-class matches gets picked for the Indian Test side. But someone who has done over a period of time, sir, who has played 100 first-class matches, just give him an opportunity and see. See what we have seen so many players being tried. So yes, if he fails, at least you can say, you can argue that we have given you a chance. We have given you an opportunity. So therein lies, means obviously, and clearly, the selectors need to be at the Ranji Trophy matches, watching domestic performances. Even a 860 odd in difficult conditions, actually you can see the temperament, the mindset, the skill. Means don't go by the players scoring 100, rather than also you should also take into account the conditions they are performing in under. Means be it for the bowlers, even a bowler, if he picks 3 wickets, but he just troubles the batters. That is where the importance of selectors is paramount to watch the matches. go out there and watch matches rather than traveling to Australia, England, and because your input doesn't matter. Shomik is here.
All right, Shomik also joins us from Guwahati. Shomik, are we staring at another whitewash?
Yeah, I mean, you are up against just two possibilities. Either you suffer another humiliating home whitewash, or you eke out a draw, and in that case also you are losing another home series in 12 odd months. But I mean, it's a lose-lose situation for India and a win-win situation for South Africa. And my question is whether India are respecting Test cricket properly. Because if you, I'm not going into, I spoke about the strategic error, about the execution, poor execution from the players. But we are probably not respecting Test cricket. Otherwise, our preparations would have been better. If you look at South Africa, they went to Pakistan in similar conditions, played a Test series, and they were fully prepared to play this series. When they came here, they're totally cooked. Now look at India. They went to play a ODI series in Australia. In that inconsequential ODI series, they took Kuldeep Yadav. Now Kuldeep Yadav, mid-series, he was told that your services are no longer required. You go back home and play the A game against South Africa. Kuldeep Yadav, I mean, for a three-match ODI series. Why did you take him in the first place? Kuldeep Yadav, in that, if you are in India, he could have played the Ranji Trophy. So, which would have been the right preparation for him? Shubman Gill, unfortunately, he is injured, but Shubman Gill, he had no business playing the T20 series in Australia. Your Shubman Gill, Jasprit Bumrah, are you taking Jasprit Bumrah's World Cup audition via a five-match T20 series in Australia? That's ridiculous. Jasprit Bumrah doesn't need five T20 eyes in Australia to prepare for a T20 World Cup in India. Just two, three T20 eyes against New Zealand at home would be the right preparation for him. We are talking about Jasprit Bumrah. So on the preparation part, South Africa have beaten India hands down. In terms of strategy, South Africa have beaten India hands down. On the field, they have played better cricket than their Indian counterparts. They thoroughly deserve to win this series. Over the two tests, they have played far better cricket, and your everything is skewed. I mean, your thought process, bringing on T20 template in Test cricket, starting from that, picking wrong players, making players insecure, everything. This World Test Championship cycle is all but gone. You have 9 tests, two in Sri Lanka, two in New Zealand, and five against Australia. So Sri Lanka will lay out rank turners, and we saw how you struggled in the ODI series last year. And you can't play spin at home, and in those Premadasa snake pits, you're struggling on turners. You're struggling. You are getting bundled out for 93. New Zealand, there would be lateral movement, green tops, and then Australia. So the fact of the matter is that BCCI, as I know, will take stock of the test performance after this series. In time, we will come up with the story. We'll take stock of this series. India have a coach in Test cricket who is totally out of his depth. Totally out of his depth. Gautam Gambhir as a Test coach is completely out of his depth. He doesn't, unless you are totally out of his depth, you won't play Nitish Kumar Reddy, for example. I don't have any personal animosity or anything personal with Nitish Kumar Reddy, but this is my observation as a reporter. As a reporter, we report what we see. And what we have seen, he has bowled only 6 overs, and in those 6 overs, he has conceded boundary to a left-hander down the fine leg region and a right-hander down the fine leg region. So that is what his line. Yes, that spoke volumes for his control, or rather the lack of it. And when he came here on this pitch, he got bounced out, pending a bouncer from Marco Jansen. This is his quality. It is not Nitish Kumar Reddy's fault. He is not a test cricketer. He is a 2028 cricketer. If you are trying to bring that T20I team play, T20 cricketers into Test cricket, you will lose. He could have played a specialist player. The players who were in the squad, Akash, for example, as a fast bowler. If you wanted to have an extra fast bowler specialist, Bumrah and Siraj in the first innings collectively bowled more than 30, more than 60 overs. That was their workload. Or if you thought we are not, our batting doesn't inspire confidence, you could have played Devdutt Padikkal, a specialist batsman. So if Gautam Gambhir stays as India's test coach, India doesn't have a chance in the world to resurrect this WTC cycle.
Very, very strong words from Shomik. Bharat, there's a question here by Musical Being. He's asking, he or she, not sure. Have India faced such a batting order crisis ever in history? The batting seems to end with openers.
Yeah, that could be.
This
Many years ago, it could be when they were traveling abroad and Fred Truman reduced India to 0 for 4 in leads. On those lines, 60, 70 years ago, you have to go back. Or when Roy Gilchrist was bowling thunderbolts and only Pankaj Roy, I think, scored 100 and a lot of others struggled maybe our Vijay Manjrekar scored a few runs, but those were the days when India were kind of struggling as fast bowling. But it so happened that nowadays Indian batters seem to struggle, especially in the DRS era, struggle more against spin bowling. I think that has been the Achilles heel of the Indian test batters, at least over the last some months. Well, I think it extends beyond that, not just last 12 months, because we have seen visiting spinners coming out to India and succeeding here, and perhaps out bowling the home side spinners. As Harmer has got most amount of turn in a couple of tests, so I think India have a spin problem in the DRS era. Maybe they have not really evolved in the DRS era, where a lot more LBWs are given, where finger spinners are bowling much quicker through the air. If you notice in the second test, first test at Eden Gardens, the second innings India played only 8 sweeps or reverse sweeps, and in that 3 of them came when India had more or less lost the match. Akshar Patel tried it and finally got out after playing 3 sweeps. So maybe in the DRS era they have not really adapted to how to play spin, and that is something that they need to look at. I think Indian batters have a spin problem at home.
More questions here. Viraj More is saying go for a draw, stay in the WTC hunt, and wait for GG to be dropped. Um, do you see that happening, Debashish, in the near future? GG being dropped.
GG to be dropped. I like that. GG to be dropped. Okay, please, Devashish, please go ahead.
Um, I, 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 Sumita makes a very valid point yesterday. Means try and get in someone who can be uh, uh, added along with Gautam Gambhir. But Gautam Gambhir just a series loss against South Africa and suddenly he will be removed. I don't think that would be the right approach. Yes, he has art in his technique, in his strategy. That is for everyone to accept, and he himself will also realize that he has art in his strategy, as far as team selection or playing the right players. But a serious loss against South Africa, and you see Gautam Gambhir being removed from the post. I don't think that is. I have doubts. I have serious doubts whether Gautam Gambhir will be removed after the series loss in South Africa.
All right, I'm sure Debashish and Shomik have to make their way in. Game will start soon. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And to all our viewers who sent us questions, thank you for interacting with us. We'll be back very soon at lunch. Don't forget